I started painting on Altoid tins after seeing other people doing it on Instagram, and it reminded me of miniatures that I had already been doing, because I was already doing miniatures that were about the same size. These are all watercolor paintings that I did in 2017. Some of my earliest miniatures, right before I started doing the ones that I'm known for. I kind of transitioned from watercolor to oil. I think I first got into art when I was a little kid. I used to go to my dad's office, and he was an architect. He's dead now, but I used to go to his office and just play with his colored pencils and his drafting templates. And I think that, like, one of the biggest things I learned as an artist was craftsmanship from my dad. Watching him and seeing how he was careful with everything he did and sort of fastidious to some degree, double checking things and making sure everything was the way that he wanted it. Also kind of had to unlearn some of that too, because like that can sort of get in the way of getting stuff done sometimes if you're too precise. I started a TikTok account and didn't post anything for about a year. It was just a blank account. And then one day I thought, because I've been making videos on Instagram, and then one day I just put one of my Instagram videos on TikTok, didn't even look at it until I think I put it up in the morning, and then somebody said something about it, like, oh, you're going viral. And I thought they were joking. When I posted my first TikTok video, there was one viewer and I had 2 followers. And then by the time the evening rolled around, I had 786,000 views on the one video and 22,000 followers. So at this point on TikTok, I've got 321.4 thousand followers. I use social media now in the way that I post artwork that I've made that is available to purchase. And I sometimes post murals and other artwork that's not available, but typically I post it online on my TikTok and on my Instagram. That generates interest in my work. And then later on, at some point, I will post that I'm selling my work on my website. So then people who have seen my work go to my website and they buy my paintings when they're available.
I think that Remington produces art that not only speaks to what we love and live for here in Colorado, which is being outdoors, capturing the beauty of nature, but also just the whimsical spirit of a big imagination and really seeking the light. I love how Remington always finds the right moment for each painting. So he gets out there, whether it's winter or spring or summer, and captures just the right light, just the right moment.
My daughter at the time was probably 8. She loves tiny things and she loves art. So she asked if she could buy one. And I said, yeah, and she actually used some of her own money for it. And then once she was buying one, I realized I have to have one for myself too. The joy in this little box, it's not just his skill. I actually felt the joy that he felt potentially being there in this beautiful scene. And you cannot, you can't fake that.
Sometimes paintings only take like half an hour or 45 minutes because I have simplified everything in the scene, and there's nature scenes sometimes take less time. It all depends on what it is that I'm painting. This one, the one on the left took maybe about 45 minutes. The one on the right took maybe 2.5 or 3 hours. I'm gonna sign some of these paintings, and I never signed them. Did some of these miniature ones in the last few weeks. Okay, this is a landscape of Boulder. They're the Flatirons right there. At sunset during a rainstorm. I was painting on the overlook off of Highway 93 in South Boulder. You can see a little bit of rain coming down there. Also, I used to sign my paintings with a pencil, and I've been lately signing my paintings with a thread breaker or something, but I've been just scratching my name into the paintings lately. It's more precise. I think the number one thing that inspires my art is nature itself, but then I also am finding inspiration constantly through artists that I admire, as well as other artists on social media. Some artists I admire that I find inspiration through are, of course, Claude Monet. A lot of painters are really inspired by Claude Monet, as am I. I'm inspired a lot by James Gurney. I'm inspired a lot by my great-grandfather, whose name was August Bealey. He was an impressionist painter in the Cleveland area in the 1900s. I'm just setting up my tin so I can start another painting. I think I've done 4, and this would be my 5th one. No, this would be my 6th one. Yeah, I did 3 yesterday, and I've done 2 so far today. This is a brand new tin. I don't always use the same colors, just because I like to kind of keep it fresh and experiment a little bit. I do have a certain set of colors that I typically go by. Or I mean, if I use all of my colors, I go in a particular order.
I like them because they're really small and compactable, so you can take them everywhere.
I think I've gone through about 50 cans of spray paint and 4 or 5 gallons of house paint. Altoid tins and murals seem very different, but they're really not that different. It's really just constructing an image. One just happens to be very small, one happens to be very large. There is a different process for getting a really large image, because you have to get the scaling right. So like, you can use a projector, you can use a grid system. You don't really freehand large stuff like you can with a small image. So I think for younger artists starting out, what I would recommend is find a niche of something that you like to paint, but also something that sets you apart from other people. And whether you have a niche or not, it's important to keep creating what you're making and to make a lot of it, so be prolific. If you really feel strongly about your work and you like it a lot, then other people will like it too, I think.